Hi, I'm TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast, and I ask that you like, share, and comment on this video. Thanks for watching. All I gotta say is, who dat?
Hey, don't let these tears fool you. There's all dog around this mug. I'm good.
Hey, what's going on, Who Dat Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones. And yes, I am the host of the State of the Saints podcast. Thank you so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast, where we talk New Orleans Saints. Really do appreciate your time, no matter where you are, wherever you may be. Thank you for allowing the State of the Saints podcast to be a part of your listening and your viewing pleasure. On this edition, we're going to be talking about the Saints and adding pass rush to their roster and looking at defensive end Chase Young. And would it be a good idea to make a trade for Chase Young? We're going to be diving into some of the things that the Saints need on the defensive line throughout this show. And of course, we're going to be reading your comments and answering your questions as well. But let's go ahead and get into it. Chase Young, the stories have been coming out about him ever since the Washington Commanders decided not to pick up his fifth-year option, which to me was a little bit of a surprise, especially how Chase Young started his career. I mean, he started off wreaking havoc. He had about 7.5 sacks his first year, and it seemed like he was going to build on that. And then all of a sudden, in 2021, he ended up having an ACL tear, a grade 3 ACL tear. I think it happened maybe in like November of 2021. And, in 2022, he was still rehabbing and trying to come back from that. And I don't know if the prognosis of this thing maybe played a part in them not picking up his fifth-year option, or the Commanders felt that he needed to prove something. But all in all, you just don't see a team just give up on their number 2 overall pick like they did with Chase Young. Chase Young is a young, explosive defensive end. He came out of Ohio State. He played alongside a guy, Pete Werner, who was a linebacker for the New Orleans Saints. Chris Olave was also his teammate as well. So, I mean, we all know that the Saints love themselves some Ohio State players. And I just think that Chase Young is a guy that you can add to your team that can give you some I won't say some pass rush. He can actually possibly be the answer that we've been looking for as far as having a succession plan post Cam Jordan. I really think very highly of this guy. And I don't know why, all of a sudden, like, this guy has gotten into the bad graces of the Commanders. Maybe it's just the fact that they're the Commanders, and it just seemed like, this team always has something going on. But I like Chase Young, and I think that he would be a great asset to the New Orleans Saints. Now, before people start talking to me and saying stuff like, oh, well, the Saints have had defensive ends. Look at Peyton Turner. Look at Marcus Davenport. These guys have had a history of being injured. But to me, none of those guys at any time that I can just sit back and be like, man, they gave me what I seen from Chase Young. Chase Young, to me, was on a trajectory to being one of the best pass rush in football. And I still feel that he can be that guy. And I think the Commanders will probably end up paying him if he comes out this season and dominates the way that they feel like he should. If he gets double-digit sacks, I feel like they would do it. But I just think that, why not make a phone call? I mean, we know that the Commanders are going through a little bit of a transition, trying to find ownership, trying to find their own identity, trying to figure out what they're going to do as far as, coaches and the team going forward. They got Sam Howell as the starting quarterback. They got some new pieces that they added to the team. So maybe they'll be interested in maybe hearing, not trying to shop Chase Young so much, but I mean, there's nothing wrong with picking up the phone and seeing what you can actually get. Now, if you're asking me what would be a good price for a guy like Chase Young, to me, I feel like it would be a third-round pick would be suffice. A third-round pick would be a good pick for him, and maybe a player like somebody like Carl Granderson. They probably will have to go to the Commanders, a guy who's young and promising just like Chase Young. But I think it's worth the investment. I'm not so much – I don't care about the contracts. Look, I don't care about the money and all that kind of stuff. We've seen the New Orleans Saints finesse and make moves in order to get the players that they wanted. How many years have we seen the New Orleans Saints just pull money out of thin air? Look, the name of the game is winning. And for some of those Saints fans out there that are reluctant and are counting pennies and dimes and quarters, trying to stay above water, tell me, what has that gotten the New Orleans Saints as of late? As a matter of fact, what has it gotten the Saints, period? For the exception of 2009, the lowly championship that the New Orleans Saints got, what has it gotten? So while everybody's out here trying to worry about what the Saints got in their pockets, you have other teams out here exhausting the cap, trying to find the best players, the best assembly, the best depth possible in order for them to make a Super Bowl run. I no longer care about trying to keep my head above water. The name of the game is winning. We have seen this on several levels. We have seen this several times where we've seen teams put all of their chips on the table and let it ride. And yet we still have reluctant Saints fans that are still talking about how much it's going to cost, how much it's going to cost. This isn't new windows on your house or new shingles on the roof. This is about winning, all right? And we know that the New Orleans Saints have to strike while the iron is hot, especially when we have a coach that has a whole lot of unanswered questions. So the Saints should be trying to do everything within their power to try to exhaust whatever they have in order for them to try to be a formidable team. And if Chase Young end up giving you double-digit sacks, if Chase Young end up giving you what you've been looking for as far as a guy coming in, being a good succession plan for Cam Jordan, then I just think that it's a plus. You can't be around here trying to count pennies if you're talking about being a championship team. It's just not going to happen. I mean, in order for you to be able to get luxury, right? To stay in a luxurious hotel, to stay in a nice house, to ride in a nice car, you have to spend money, folks. Okay? You can't just go out there and kick the tires and try to negotiate and haggle your way down to a price that you feel like is formidable or little to nothing. You're not going to do that if you're going to be riding in luxury. Now, you can do it for a lemon, a car that's probably got triple digit miles on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, but all I'm saying is you got to be able to pay in order for you to get what you need. You look at teams like the Philadelphia Eagles. You look at teams like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They put everything that they had. Now, as far as the Eagles, it didn't work out for them. They got close, but it didn't work out. As far as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, adding Tom Brady, adding Antonio Brown, adding Gronk, all these other guys on the team, Leonard Fournette, it worked out for them. So my question is to all those out there that are reluctant about the New Orleans Saints, paying a certain amount of money and saving money, what has it gotten? That's my question for you. What has it gotten? If you can add a guy like Chase Young to your team, if you can add a guy like Chase Young, why not? And if he can give you double-digit sacks, why not add this guy to the team? I'm about winning. I don't know about you. I care about the Saints winning. I don't care what it costs, all right? You're not paying them. I mean, that's just what it is. You're not paying for they're not going into your bank account. So if the Saints have money to spend and they're willing to spend it, why not? But let me go ahead and read some of your questions and we'll go ahead and go from there. Thank y'all for being here. I know this is this isn't normal. I normally don't do shows around this time. This is live, by the way. But I just wanted to. I haven't done a show. I've been on vacation from the radio station this week. Been trying to do some things around the house, and working on some things. So just thought I would do a show tonight. Says, whoa, now TJ, do you think he'd be expensive as far as trade value? No, I don't. Based on his injuries and the fact that they didn't pick up his 50 option, I don't feel like they have leverage. I don't think they have enough leverage to be around here saying we want a first round pick for Chase Young. Because the thing about it is, you wouldn't be willingly trying to trade away a guy that has first round value, unless that guy is like a problem, a nuisance or something like that. Then you have something. But this guy has, this guy is a team captain. You know what I'm saying? So that tells you everything you need to know about who this guy is as a player. Saints should do it, but keep Cam Jordan. Well, yeah. I mean, look, we're not trying to shop or get rid of Cam Jordan here. But I think that it comes a time when you have to look at the succession plan. And I think that this is something that has hurt the New Orleans Saints, and we have seen over the last couple of years, because the Saints did not pull the trigger on trying to find someone to replace Drew Brees. Not doing their due diligence, just riding the wheels till they completely fall off. And I just think that the fact that they didn't have a succession plan is the reason why the Saints are in the condition that they're in right now. So you don't want to do the same thing when it comes to pass rush. And if you can get a guy like Chase Young that is capable of being a dominant defensive end on your team, you try to do what you can. But to me personally, I don't feel like he's worth a first round pick or even a second round pick. A third round, I'm with you. I think Chase Young is worth a fly up for any team. His issues has been helped, so he could be had for a mid-round pick. Yeah, that's why I'm saying maybe a third-round pick would be great. Let's see. Man lost faith in the organization. Now it was injuries, but still. Well, look, I don't know exactly what it is. All I know is as good as this dude has been and how promising as his career is, I just don't understand why the Commanders would do something like this, unless, like they know something that we don't. Like, I don't know if the prognosis is like, man, well, he has like maybe 3-4 years top before, he has to shut it down completely. I don't know, right? But it's just weird to see this guy in action and see how dominant he was, when he was running around, and the fact that they're not willing to give him a 50 option, you have to wonder why. But at the same time, these are the Commanders we're talking about here. No disrespect, but the Commanders have been a circus from the sexual, stuff that's coming up out of there. You got what they had, like sexual harassment charges, hiding stuff under the rug. It just seems like there's something always coming out of Washington. So I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Why would Redskins trade him? Dude is a stud and top 5 player at his position. Well, the same reason, the same thing that you just said is the same reason why I'm wondering why they didn't pick up his 50 option. I don't understand it. Just don't need to break the bank on him, but he'd be a nice addition. Why, why wouldn't we want to break the bank for getting players that for a fact can give you a lot of production? Like, this dude is like, I feel like when it comes to Davenport, like, I know some people kind of compare this situation to a Davenport. Davenport to me never was dominant like this guy was. Like, it was almost to a point where you had to look at Marcus Davenport's qualities or whatever like that in order for you to feel secure about talking about it. With this guy, this guy is a pretty easy read. Like, he's dominant, he's physical, he has that good first step, and he's getting to the quarterback regardless, right? To me, even if this guy is hurt, he still would be a top 10, top 15 defensive end in the league. Even if he's not the player that he was when he first came out of Ohio State, I still feel that he would be one of the best defensive ends in football. I can't say that about Davenport. I can't. TJ, if we had him, where does that leave Foskey? Foskey is not going to be a starter anyway, in my opinion. I think that's going to be Carl Granderson. I think Carl Granderson is going to be the starter. Now, things could change. Foskey can come out there, dominate during training camp, and make it very easy for the Saints to appoint him as a starter. But as of right now, I see him more as a rotation guy. Probably as the time goes on, if somebody gets hurt, he'll probably get the start. But I just think that belongs to Carl Granderson. And it doesn't mean like if you add Chase Young to the team, then Isaiah Foskey is going to be the odd man out. Look, you can never have too many pass rush. I mean, how many pass rush have we seen from the New Orleans Saints go down last year alone? I mean, you had Tano Passanio missing time. You had Shy Tuttle missing time. Malcolm Roach missing time. Only one on that line that was pretty consistent, of course, was Cam Jordan, right? You know what I'm saying? Davenport was out there, but he didn't really do nothing. Peyton Turner, was healthy scratches more times than not. So there's always going to be room for guys to be a part of the rotation, rather it's injury or a guy not getting the job done. So to me, I don't think it will hurt him at all. I think that he will still get his opportunities to do what he needs to do. Pay him, but at a reasonable price. Well, like I said before, I don't know exactly what we mean by a reasonable price. I don't understand it. Like if a guy can contribute, a guy's making plays, pay him. If he's not making plays, then, find somebody else. But you ain't winning nothing around this thing trying to save money and collecting pennies. I'm just saying. Let's see. By the way, a lot of teams don't pick up the fifth-year option on their picks. The Saints have to think about life after Cam Jordan. Yeah, but a lot of teams don't pick up their fifth-year option if they feel like a guy hasn't proven himself. Like Justin Jefferson, they picked up his fifth-year option. Like players that you see that are out there making plays and doing things. The teams pick up their fifth-year option more times than not. When it comes to Chase Young, I mean, the dude was a team captain. You know what I'm saying? Like the dude had 7.5 sacks. Like the dude he's a dominant force. So I don't understand like why not pick up this dude fifth-year option if you feel like this dude is the future of your franchise. You don't pick guys second pick overall and don't pick up their fifth-year option unless you just feel like this dude is just not going to be anything. Like he just gonna stink. He just gonna suck. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? I just don't. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Obviously, health is an issue. Teams don't give healthy pass rushes. That's a good point. But like I said, what he showed, I still would pick it up. Let's see. Chase is awesome, but we don't need a guy with health issues. We've been down this road too many times. Why do you think the Commanders didn't take the fifth? They know. I mean, that could be it. But at the same time, if you trade and it's like a mid-round pick, who cares? Like, like I hate to say it like that, but when you start going into like 4th round, 5th round, those guys making the team is a plus. It's not a guarantee that you're going to be a part of the team because you get drafted. You have to earn your spot. So if this dude comes in and you give a 3rd or 4th round pick for him and he comes in and it don't pan out, what do you really lose, right? Who losing sleep over a 4th round pick? I mean, a 4th round pick could work out for you, but teams ain't just sitting up here like, man, this 4th round pick going to change the trajectory of my team. No. Not gonna happen, like it's just what it is. Like I'm about adding guys that can contribute. I'm about adding guys that can get to the quarterback, adding guys that can get the ball back into the hands of the offense, getting guys that can get the quarterback on the ground. That is what I'm looking for. I don't care about saving. I'm not looking at saving change. What has that gotten you? That's my whole point. Like everybody's sitting up here talking about for the right price. What has for the right price got the Saints? What has it gotten them? What has saving change got the Saints? At this particular point, you should be trying to exhaust everything you have in order to make a formidable team. I don't care about I don't like at this point. Why do you care about contracts and what contracts look like and verbiage? Like the Saints have not been to the playoffs in 2 seasons, right? You gotta worry about winning. It comes a time where you gotta just do what you have to do in order for your team to be successful. I'm not sitting up here worrying about no change, man. That just ain't it. Josh says you unmod me. Yeah, I did unmod you because you asked me to, right? That's what you asked me to do. You asked me to unmod you. I think last show or show before last or something like that, because it was an issue between I don't know you and Jerry or something like that, having communication or something. I don't know. I thought that's what you told me to do. Let's see. I wonder if we actually might roll into next off season with some money or a little headroom. It'll change, I'm sure, but yeah. Look, I care about winning at this point. I'm thinking trading bait might be Winston. Let's see, Pete, May, Taysom, or maybe AK. I think Taysom touches will be much more down with additional weapons. Hope we keep him, and Winston quarterback too is important. We should know. I don't think that Taysom numbers are going to go down. I don't think Taysom numbers are going to go down. I don't think that is going to affect that. I mean, if the Saints are smart, you're not going to limit Taysom Hill's touches, because every time Taysom Hill touches the ball, for the most part, magic happens. So why would you try to take the ball out of this man's hands? I just don't understand it. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to be right. Sorry about that, folks. I had to get my charger. My laptop was about to die, so I apologize for that. Let's see. Sorry, TJ, but the Saints aren't in a bad position at the moment. I'm not saying they're at a bad position. It's not about having a bad position. Like, I'm not trying to wait till the sky is falling for me to fix the roof. You know what I'm saying? The leaky roof. I'm just saying, I'm trying to dot my I's and cross my T's. And when I say that, I'm talking about like when, man, I keep on using the Eagles because they're a good example. Like the Eagles had the best record in the NFL for, you know what I'm saying, the majority of the season. But that didn't stop them from going out there to get Linval Joseph and Ndamukong Suh. Like that didn't stop them from, you know what I'm saying, going out there getting, you know, some of the, you know, adding to the team and trying to get better, getting James Bradbury and all these other guys, you know what I'm saying, when the Giants let them go. It's about trying to add more depth, man. You're trying to win. And, you know, it ain't about being in a bad position. It's about trying to maintain the momentum that you're building. And by getting a guy like this, it'll add to it. Chase Young is smart. Like come to New Orleans. Chase is young. Get it, but he's 24 years old. Yeah, I mean, look, plenty of football ahead of him, no doubt about that. Let's see. Jameis' number one fan is in the house. Well, that's good to know. Let's see. TJ with $14.5 million in cap. I say we sign him to a 3-year, $40 million deal with a voidable year. Which say you? Well, I mean, it's not about what they gonna sign him to. It's up to him and his agent. But I don't know, man. Like if he comes in and he dominates, then you're gonna have a conversation, because it's not like, oh, he playing with empty pockets. Like you seen him in his first year, so you know it's not an outlier. So if he comes in, you trade for him and he gets 15, 16 sacks, that's not an outlier. Like more time, like there's a strong chance that this is going to be who Chase Young is going forward. So you're going to have to pay him like that. That's just the breaks. But you're going to have to do that anyway, right? No matter what pass rush you get. Like, what are you going to do? Like, when Cam Jordan retires and let's just say, for example, Isaiah Foskey becomes a dominant pass rusher and he getting double-digit sacks every single year, you're going to have to pay him. You know? So, look, if the guy goes out here and he dominates, then that's a conversation you're going to have. And it's going to have some tough decisions, but you're going to have to make them because guys like this don't grow on trees. TJ, the Vikings are releasing Dalvin Cook. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, that's not a surprise, though. I mean, pretty much saw it coming. I mean, all the reports that have come out about Dalvin Cook, about him playing and, you know, being in Minnesota, you know, probably wasn't going to happen in 2023. But, I mean, he'll find a home, man. He'll end up – he's not going to be on the street for very, very long. His ability to catch the ball out of the backfield, running between the tackles, I think that he'll find a home. Probably going to be somewhere with the Dolphins or, you know, I'm not sure about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but that could be a possibility as well. Chase Young is an athletic 4.3 end that could potentially be a good hands-up guy in a 3.4. He's still relatively raw as a player, though. I don't care. I just know that dude is going to be a really good player, you know, and hopefully, you know, if he was out there on the streets and the Commanders are willing to make a trade for him, you know, why not? Not saying dude is a bad player. I'm saying I never seen him play in a Saints system. He could be amazing under Dennis Allen, but I want to see it in a good price 1-year deal. Well, if he does come to New Orleans Saints via trade, it's not going to be like a 1-year deal. The Saints just take on the contract in which he has right here. So he's on the final year of his deal anyway. So you're going to get what you're asking for. You know, so you know, whatever he comes with, and let's just say, for example, he dominates, then there you go, right? So whatever he comes with, that's what it is. It's not like, oh, the Saints can, you know, sign him, trade for him, make the trade, and then tear up his contract and give him a contract extension. But if you want to see what this guy has before you make a full commitment, then this contract would be for you because he's going into the final year of his deal before he tests his free agency anyway. So, I mean, it's pretty much like, you know, a guy like how Von Bell was in his final year, Reggie Bush, how he was in his final year. Kind of the same way, right? You know, like you making a choice if you want to pay this guy or not. So it'll be the same thing. He's a good kid too, high character and great guy in the locker room. Everybody talks very highly of him. I said, I mean, he was young and he was a team captain. TJ, as long as we don't Jarius Bird this thing, I'm okay with picking up Chase. Yeah, I mean, look, it can be the same situation. See, this situation could be that similar to, man, I keep using the Eagles and C.J. Gardner-Johnson. They use C.J. Gardner-Johnson. They didn't pay him, right? You know what I'm saying? They got those six interceptions and all that great defensive work, and they ain't commit to him. So, you know, that was their choice at the end of the day, right? So it could be the same situation. It's a wait and see approach. His contract will be a wait and see approach. If the Saints were to make a trade for him, you know, he would be going into like the final year of his deal before he can test free agency. So depends on what he does. The Saints can be like, you know what, man, let's go ahead and lock him up for the foreseeable future. We haven't exactly made the best moves paying people either, LOL. Well, I disagree with that one, man, because we paid Cam Jordan, paid dividends, paid Demario Davis, paid dividends, paid Alvin Kamara, paid dividends, paid Taysom Hill, paid dividends. Derek Carr remains to be seen. Who have they actually paid and it didn't really work out? I mean, Lattimore, trying to see some guys that they actually added to the team. Who have they, who have they paid and it just didn't pan out? I guess if you want to talk about years past, but most recently, they've been like very smart with the decisions that they made. And guys that they have paid have come in and contribute. So I can't say that. Now when you want to talk about big time free agent acquisitions, nah, it didn't work out. I mean, I heard somebody mentions Jairus Byrd. That suffice. But I mean, not too many guys, I'm saying, I can just think of that over the last 2 to 3 years that they paid and it just didn't work out for them. Like I said, you have to go back to the Jairus Byrd, Brandon Brown, Kobe Flinas. Yeah, those guys didn't work, but they've been pretty good at paying the guys, right? And some guys they're allowed to go, and those guys have been difference makers for their team. Alex Anzalone, Trey Hendrickson, Marcus Williams before he dealt with an injury, CJ Gardner-Johnson, they let him go via trade. So, I mean, sometimes it works out, sometimes it does not, But I'm not caring about at this particular time, folks. I'm just gonna be real with you, man. I care about winning. I mean, saving for a rainy day ain't gonna get you what you need to do. It's so I shouldn't be able to see him right now. Let's see. It's probably impossible, but I would love Danielle Hunter, especially if his contract can be restructured. Yeah, I mean, Danielle Hunter is another guy that's out there, that would be a difference maker. I mean, I like Danielle Hunter a lot. He's a much better pro than he was when he was in college, if you ask me. But yeah, I think he still has something left in the tank, and I think that he will be a great asset. But I'm looking at Chase Young a little bit more because of his youth and the fact that he could be your cornerstone player going forward. And that's what you're looking for right now, because once again, you don't want to be in that situation where it was with Drew Brees. Waited too long to try to find a replacement. And honestly, you didn't. You had to go to free agency, and hopefully you're thinking that a guy like Derek Carr can pan out. Also, y'all remember Jason Pierre-Paul, a former multi-season first-team All-Pro that took multiple seasons just to become a starter. He also reminds me of Chase Young. Well, yeah, I mean, look, Jason Pierre-Paul was an athletic freak coming out of Central Florida, South Florida, if I'm not mistaken. I think he went to South Florida. But, yeah, I mean, it was kind of hard for him to get on the field, to be honest with you, when you got Justin Tuck and Matthias Kiwanuka and all them boys out there. I mean, it was going to be kind of hard for him to hit the field, but he ended up making it, and, he ended up being a difference maker. So, but to me, I think Chase Young is better than him. I think at this stage, where Jason Pierre-Paul was and where Chase Young is, I think Chase Young is better. The Saints front seven is good, but they definitely are not above adding extra depth, especially this unit will get punters, get more elite and balanced offenses. Well, I don't know if they're good or not. I mean, okay, let me ask you this. What makes you say that they're good? Like, who's on that front seven that you just feel like that you've seen besides Cam Jordan that is just a dominant player? I don't know one, right? Every last one of those guys, in my honest opinion, if you're talking about them being good, it's just the fact that it's just kind of your intuition or whatever. Like I expect your expectations. That's the word. Your expectations of it. Like, man, I think they're gonna be good. Think is one thing, and they might end up being good, but. Man, we, like you just mentioned, man, they can't be beyond reproach in this situation. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to get better on every side. And honestly, if you have a little bit too much, that's a good problem to have. We have a good roster. Let's just hope we can stay healthy and take advantage of playing what we think is a weak schedule. I agree. It's a good team right now, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought it was a good team last year, and I'm very hesitant about what this team is doing. And I understand that we see these OTAs and we see these highlights and all that kind of stuff there, and that's cool. But, man, you got to play the game. And last year we thought these boys they were Super Bowl bound. I need to see it in person. Like, a bunch of stories from columnists that cover the team is not going to satisfy me. I'm just not, You seen these guys out here with helmets and shorts on, running fast. They ain't got a bunch of equipment holding them down and weighing them down. Like, you got to go out there and you got to put in that work. You know what I'm saying? So to me, I don't know what this team is as of right now. I don't. I see some good players. I see them adding players, and I just think that it's exciting, but I need to see it in real time. I'm not sitting up here content with this team. I heard Derek Carr's family podcast. They won't be the last we see of Gruden and Nola. I could see him being a OC if Pete fall flat this year. I don't know about being an OC, but I can see him like coming in as a consultant, like somebody coming in, maybe understanding who Derek Carr is as a quarterback and as a player, being that he coached him, for X amount of years. I can see him coming in, adding his expertise to that. And look, I understand what the guy did. Like, I'm not sitting up here acting as if I don't know what the guy said and what he did, and I can understand how it can make some people feel. Not all these fake activists out here that's only outraged when something come across their timeline. I ain't talking about them. Like, those type of people really legitimately make me sick. Like, seriously, like, I wish the world can get rid of people like that. Like, you're not even doing it for the person or the thing. You're actually doing it for yourself because you want to big up yourself to make yourself feel self-righteous. And for that, you get no love and no respect from me. I can understand for those people that's going hard in the paint for activism, how John Gruden coming to the New Orleans Saints could make somebody feel, right? But at the same time, it's kind of like with these players. I hate to be this person, but it's just the truth. If a player is really good and he's really talented, teams will look past their imperfections time after time after time again. The fact that this dude is as knowledgeable as he is offensively in a game that is, strictly mostly offensive minded. You know what I'm saying? The teams want offensive minded coaches. For the most, that's the words. That's the statement. They want offensive minded coaches. They want to put points on the board. They want to generate excitement in the stands. And this guy has the recipe to do it. And as long as he can do these things, you're going to see him roll up and find him talking with coaches, sitting down with quarterbacks. That's just the way that it is, folks. Seriously. If you have a certain talent that a team feel like they can tap into, they will look past your imperfections. That's just the truth. Now, you can pout and you can be mad and you can say all these different things. You can put a fist up. You can find a graphic with Malcolm X and Martin Luther King dapping each other off in a well, like well documented statement and all that kind of stuff that people do to try to big up themselves. All you want, but the fact is, as long as this dude can bring something to the team or make an offense go, he's going to be around. That's just the truth. That's just the truth. You may not like it, but hey, as long as this dude can do what he's been doing, he's going to be around somebody's team. So I agree with him. I don't think it's going to be the last time you see him. I don't. We want to pay Cam Jordan. I don't even care about these players. Just keep him for real, for real. He's a real captain, defensive end of my team in the several years, TJ. Well, look, I already been on record talking about Cam Jordan and what he means. I even wrote articles about Cam Jordan and what he means to the team. And it's not like we just sitting up here talking about we want Cam Jordan like he just this old dude that can't do it anymore. Like I said, like he Udonis Haslam or something like that for the Heat. Just sat on the bench, was out there and, not basically just being a figurehead, right? Being the Joe Paterno of the Miami Heat, like just out there. Like this dude is not only out there, but he's contributing and doing it better than the young guys that's supposed to come in to take his place. With that being said, like, why wouldn't you want to add this guy to the team? I don't get that. I don't get that at all. So let's see. Hunter has been dealing with neck problems, which could be the reason for possibly parting of ways. Well, look, it probably could be. It probably played well. Probably is the main reason because there's no other reason why you want to get rid of a guy like Danielle Hunter. But if he has something that he can still bring to the table, why not? Are we forgetting that we drafted Isaiah Foskey? No. But once again, you can never have too many good pass rushes. And this is not a knock on Isaiah Foskey. It's not. I think that he's going to be a really good player. I've been on record saying that I think he's going to be a really good player too. So, but at the same time, man, I'm looking at depth and trying to become much better. Why you bring that up, Ken Arthur? If I'm not mistaken, that was week 17 to keep our playoff hopes alive too. Young not better than Trey Hendrickson. I don't know. That remains to be seen. I mean, Trey Hendrickson is deep into his career, and Chase Young is still trying to establish himself. So, if you're asking me right now, as far as like the players that they are and what they mean to their team, well, both of them mean something to their team. But who's contributing more? Yeah, I would say Trey Hendrickson. Do I think that Trey Hendrickson is a better athlete than him? No. Do I think that Trey Hendrickson, Trey Hendrickson, to me, where he is right now, he will never get any better. Seriously. Like his pass rush moves, his abilities, and all that kind of stuff, I feel like he kind of reached his peak. Like when it comes to Chase Young, he's this good, and he hasn't even scratched the surface of how good he can be. I mean, so that's the way I look at it. Like, I think that Trey Hendrickson is a really good defensive end. I think he's a really good pass rusher. He deserved to get paid. I saw it coming. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's why, I was like, man, when he started getting them double-digit sacks, I was like, man, yeah, he on his way out. But if you're saying like based on, where they are right now, yeah, Trey Hendrickson is better. But as far as like who has the capability of being the best out of both of those guys, Chase Young. To me, I don't feel like Trey Hendrickson. I don't think that Trey Hendrickson will ever get better than what he is right now. I don't feel that way. I don't, and that's not a knock because he's good, right? You know what I'm saying? I think he's just gonna stay on that level. He's a high motor guy. He's freakishly strong, and he doesn't give up. And that is one of the main reasons why, like he will stay in the league. Like he's like Jared Allen. Like that's the perfect person. He's like Jared Allen or like Junior Gillette. Like Junior Gillette wasn't like, man, Junior Gillette was just freakishly strong. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he had a high motor too. That's kind of what Trey Hendrickson remind me of. Like guys that just have high motors, they just don't give up on plays. But I feel like when it comes to like Chase Young, learning different pass rush moves and guys like watching him and trying to carve their game after him. Like if you ask me, okay, a young teenager pass rusher sitting down at his high school right now, and no, let's just say 10 years from now, right? And he's watching film. Who do I feel like out of Trey Hendrickson and Chase Young, he'll be watching to really try to carve his game to be the best? It's going to be Chase Young. I mean, that's the way I feel about it. Is Chase Young better than Peyton Turner? Because we need any and all players that we can get some pass rush on these quarterbacks. I agree with that. It's about time for somebody else to get to the quarterback other than, Cam Jordan. Cam Long in the two still needs to look for depth for the future. Foskey is just the first piece, I should say. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's a good point. Well, whatever it is, it's a start. Anyone remember the quarterback performance from the last two season openers? Yeah, I think the last two season openers were like really, really good. Well, it started off a little rocky the first this past season, but it got better. The first season opener against the Green Bay Packers, I think that was Jameis Winston. He threw for 5 touchdowns in that game. Yeah, I mean it was good stuff. I say leave Chase Young where he is. Okay, ain't nothing wrong with that. Let's see, TJ, why isn't AK on the field? Is it due to his situation? No, it's not. It's the fact that Alvin Kamara just never goes to OTAs. I don't never remember him going to OTAs. When has he ever went to OTAs? I don't remember. Probably maybe a second season or something like that. But I don't remember Alvin Kamara ever going to OTAs. I mean, I could be wrong, but I never remember this dude going to OTAs. Is Turner on the chopping block? I don't think he's on the chopping block, but it's put up a shut up time for Peyton Turner, you know. And I'm gonna be honest with you, watching the interview with Dennis Allen, I have to say, man, I don't think he's too impressed with Peyton Turner, because here's when I realized that, and I don't feel bad about saying this. See, I'm real big on body language. I'm also real big on, interpreting what people are saying, like by, the words that they use, right? When the first question he started talking about was Brian Bresee, right? When they was talking about Bresee being out there getting first team reps, he lit up like a kid on Christmas talking about him. Oh, he got length and size, and it's been a minute since we had a guy with this length and size on the inside, yada, yada, yada. Just ranting and raving about the dude. Then a question came up about Peyton Turner. What do you see with Peyton Turner out there? Well, he's still trying to get acclimated, dealing with injuries. But it's kind of like the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the same thing I saw when he was talking about Adam Troutman last year. Like, everybody was talking about Adam Troutman. The media was asking questions about him, and all of a sudden he didn't seem like he was that impressed in him. And now you see Adam Troutman got traded away. I think it's the same way when it comes to Peyton Turner. I don't feel like he's impressed with Peyton Turner, because here's the reality. If he was, then Peyton Turner would not have been a healthy scratch all those weeks. You would be trying to find ways to get your first round pick on the field. So honestly, I don't feel like he's that impressed with him. I don't. I think that it is put up or shut up time for Peyton Turner. So if Peyton Turner don't go out there and perform well, he's not going to be in a rotation. I'm talking about dude could possibly be in street clothes. That's the vibe I got from Dennis Allen talking about this dude. You feel confident in the defensive tackle position. I'm not comfortable. I'm not confident in any position. I'm just being real. I'm not confident in any position like that. Like, I think that every position for the New Orleans Saints needs to prove something. That includes wide receivers. That includes quarterback. That includes running back. That includes offensive line. Like, no position I'm looking at and I'm confident in. That includes linebacker. Even though we know Demario Davis has been a mainstay, P. Warner was pretty dominant earlier in the season before he got injured. You got DeMarco Jackson out there who, not surprising to me at all, is really showing why they are not worried about Kaden Elliss at all. All positions for the New Orleans Saints, to me, have question marks. I don't care who it is. Like, as great as Michael Thomas is, as great as Olave is, as much promise as we've seen from Shaheed, I still feel like that wide receiver room, we have a lot to be desired. And I think a lot of what going on and how we feel about that wide receiver room is our expectations of what these guys are supposed to be in our minds. Like, Chris Olave is good, but at the same time, Chris Olave made a lot of mistakes last season, in crucial situations. Not coming down with footballs, fumbling the football in key moments. Now, do I feel like he's going to emerge and be much better? Absolutely. But once again, that's my expectation of Chris Olave. But I have question marks about all these positions. I wish I can sit up here and just tell you, oh, man, I'm confident in every position. I'm not. I know what people are saying, and I know what these guys can do. But at the same time, bad luck has been on the side. Well, bad luck has been on the side of the New Orleans Saints for the last 3 years. Seriously. Injuries, because of injuries, lack of chemistry. So let's just keep this thing together. If they can keep it together, if I can see a little bit of a difference from last year to this year when it comes to the coaches and decisions, then I think that I would get on board. But right now, if I'm feeling this way, it's probably because I'm checking out some articles, and that's just not me. You definitely know what you're talking about, man. Alan, I'm just being real. It's not even about me knowing what I'm talking about. I'm just saying I'm reluctant, and I'm reluctant to embrace this because I wanted to embrace it last year. I was excited about last year, and look what happened, and the year before, injuries. Look what happened, so I just need to see this more than just 2 weeks, more than just, 3 weeks. We need to see this consistently. And it's about that time. Like, if you go out there and you have all hands on deck and you just don't get the job done, then it's like, okay, man, we know what it is, right? But when you see this and you like, man, we got this and that, and then all of a sudden you seeing that it worked the first week and you embrace it, then all of a sudden it's like a shooting star, right? It was there and now it's gone. Like, it's kind of hard to like sit up here and just confidently say, man, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, when history has shown us that it can be tough. I'm confident in our corners. I never thought I would say that after some of the bums we tried it out there. Yeah, but I mean, I guess if you're looking at the cornerback position, yeah. If I'm looking at the cornerback position, that's fair, But once again, it was formidable last year. You had Adebo was having a hell of a camp. Then all of a sudden he had a high ankle sprain. Then all of a sudden, Marshawn Lattimore was having a pretty good season. Then all of a sudden, Tyler Lockett falls on his ribs and just completely just turn that boy ribs into brittle. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, and he missing like 10 weeks. And then all of a sudden, you have to hope that a guy like Alontae Taylor, which he did step up, but at the same time, I mean, then you had growing pains from Paulson Adebo. So, like I said, man, every position has something to prove. Now, some guys have to prove that they can stay healthy, and some guys just have to prove that they actually are worth the investment. And I think we all know, if you follow this team, you know who goes where. Do we panic if the first 5 games the Saints go 2-3? No, I wouldn't. We really need a pass rush. I'm not going to say we need a pass rush, but you can never have too many of them. How's that? I feel like I feel like we've a running back room. Oh, I assume you're saying we got a running back room, Tyrone. Thank you for the $5, by the way. Yeah, look, I think that the running back room is deep. If the Saints can be one of those teams that can play smash mouth football, this can actually work in their favor. But if they're going to be trying to throw the ball all over the place, then I feel a problem going to be a brewing. Because I mean, 3 running backs back there, how are you going to be able to use all 3 of them? Being a pass happy team as you've been in years past. If anything, I feel like by adding these 3 running backs to this room, I think the Saints are trying to tell us offensively they're going to try to establish the run a little bit more. And if they can do that, then I feel like life is going to be easier for Derek Carr. Dang, I missed the start of the show. Who that to the fam? Pops, is all good. You can always be kind to rewind. We almost at the end of the show anyway. Love the new studio, TJ. Hey, man, well, I appreciate that, man. We did little renovations over here, at the spot. Still not done, man. We're going to have some adding some more cameras to here, and it's going to be looking a little bit different, for game day and stuff like that, man. Still trying to work on it. But I'm excited, man. I painted the room a little bit, saying flip some things around. So yeah, I'm happy about this, man. It's I'm enjoy it. This is actually my second time doing the show since I've kind of renovated in here, and this is the first time me doing it live since I've did some renovations. TJ, where's your nephew? He's upstairs playing a video game online with my little cousin. They play video games all night long. Like, I think last night he stayed up to about 6 a.m. playing video games. Couldn't even wake up this morning. Let's see. Good to hear, TJ. Yeah, man. Look, I'm excited about it, man. I'm excited about where we're going this season. Excited about some of the storylines. I'm excited about a lot of things that are going to transpire, and I'm looking forward to it, man. Looking forward to it. Just trying to give people better content. Just trying to give people a better show, better presentation. We've been doing this for a long time, man. Since 2018, 18, 19, 20, 21, 20. So what is 6 seasons? We've been doing the State of the Saints podcast. So for 6 seasons, man, we've been really working hard and grinding and trying to make the show the best possible. TJ, should Kamara be afraid of losing his job? If Kamara wasn't Kamara, but I think he'll be okay. I think the Saints just realized that they just needed to get this man some help. And ain't nothing wrong with that. That's just a bunch of emojis. It says it's about more depth. If he can be available and help wreck a 3-game and give us clutch sacks, turnovers to help us win, that alone is worth a 4th round. 3 games can make a difference in being in the playoffs. I agree with that. Ray says you like the new Madden. New Madden is the old Madden, if you ask me. Like, Madden has been the same game with an updated roster for the last 3-4 years. And EA continues to renew their contracts with the NFL because they know as soon as 2K Sports gets their hands on a simulated NFL game, it's over for them. Just like it was with NBA Live. Like, they might make an NBA Live, they might not. 2K has dominated them, and they're going to continue to dominate them, and they know it. They holding on, and they keep on. And the NFL, to me, is not being smart about this at all, because if I was the NFL, I would allow 2K to make NFL simulated games. I would, but it's just the same game. Like, okay, let me ask you. Okay, so am I going to buy Madden? Yeah, I am going to buy Madden, but it's kind of like a family tradition, right? You know what I'm saying? Like grandma's favorite china. You know what I'm saying? Every Thanksgiving, they pull out grandma's favorite china, right? Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's old. It looks like it's been out since 1987, but grandma loves it, right? And she wants to continue to use it. Grandpa's favorite chair. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Is being held up by Gorilla duct tape and all this other stuff, right? But it's grandpa's favorite chair. And yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't going to throw it out. That's kind of how it feels with Madden. Madden is the same game over and over and over again every single year with an updated roster. And they'll probably add like some new graphics or something like that, like a guy running to the sidelines and the coach patting him on the behind or something. But it's not about the gameplay experience. It's more about the graphics themselves. Tim, thank you very much for the $11 Canadian. Says this season is going to be exciting, TJ. Honestly, ever since Derek Carr called timeout to kick the Chargers out of the playoffs, I've known this guy would be a Saint. He just got that intensity I love. Yeah, look, I like Derek Carr. I mean, I've always liked Derek Carr. I don't have any issues with him. I do feel like, he has a command of the offense, and I think that he's going to do some things, and you're going to see, a little bit of improvement when it comes to the offense. But, like I said, only time will tell. I'm happy for him. You know what I'm saying? Whoever the Saints quarterback is, that's who I'm rooting for, period. Sacks are cool, but quarterback hurries is the better stat. Let's see. I went back and played Madden 08 the other day, and it was leaps and bounds better than the new BS. Yeah. I mean, some of them Maddens, man, like some of them older Maddens, like on Xbox 360 and stuff like that, where you can create your own football team and, take players from that you played in college football and have them going to the pros and continue their career. That's the game I'm excited about next year. NCAA football. That's the game I'm excited about, if you ask me. But yeah, Madden is the same game. But I mean, as far as Josh Allen, man, I know he's happy. Shouts out to Josh Allen, being a cover boy of this year's Madden. So what's money got to do with it? Got to do with it. In my great late queen of rock and roll, Tina Turner. Ain't got nothing to do with it. We trying to win here. Let's see. That last Madden I bought was Madden 17 last year. Let's see. TJ, did you see Mortal Kombat? I guess that's Mortal Kombat 1 trailers. Nah, I didn't see that. Nah, I didn't see that at all, man. I'm gonna tell you what I've been watching. Okay, I binge watch All American. Shouts out to my guy Derek Augustine, who's on there. I binge watched that the last couple of days, and now that's over, now I'm watching Manifest, a show that I've been watching for I don't know how long. So they brought back some new episodes for that. But as far as like video games and stuff like that, nah, I haven't really been on it like that. I've been playing like in it MLB The Show, but haven't really been, looking at video games or trailers or anything like that. Let's see. Hello, Who Dat family. Bye. I'm so late. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we about to wrap it up in a few minutes, but thank you so much, Mr. Meena, for being here. Appreciate that. Definitely want to just do a show tonight and just kind of chop it up with everybody, man. It's been a minute. Been a minute since I really just done a live show. I haven't done one in a couple of days. The last show I did was actually pre-recorded because honestly, I did that show. Number one was because Michael Thomas came back to practice and I did want to do a podcast. And number two, I was just trying to work on like the lighting presentation of, in the room, which I'm still not too satisfied with just yet. I still got some lighting issues that I want to work on. But yeah, but it's been a minute, and it's definitely been a minute since I did a live show from the house. So we're gonna have like more live episodes from the house as the season goes on. Probably gonna go back to like how it was before, where I was actually doing shows at night versus like doing shows at the radio station. I still do them, but probably as the season goes on, I'll probably start doing shows like around this time once again. Because I do feel like more people are able to tune in live around this time because, people are off work, trying to unwind, trying to chill. During the day, you still get like a nice little a bit of individuals coming and checking out the show, but it's not as plentiful as it is at night. Because I mean, people are listening and watching, but they can't really comment because they on the clock. So that's what we're trying to do. Hey, I love the night shows. I don't be at work. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of people been asking me about doing these shows at night, and then on top of that, I was trying to get away from that too because I don't be wanting to step on nobody's toes. I know guys like Hoodie. Who else? Hoodie does show at night. Big Q mostly does his shows at night. A few more people, I know. Keeping it real, I think he does his show at night. Dolph does his show at night. So I'll be trying not to step on anybody's toes. So I mean, but I think that like I said, I just probably end up like doing shows at night because that's kind of been the thing I've been doing over the last couple of years. And like I said, people are more interactive because they're at home. Let's see, TJ. What do you think about Dalvin Cook getting released? I think that it's good for the Minnesota Vikings, and I think it's good for Dalvin Cook. Both parties probably need a break at this particular time. And Dalvin Cook has been a really good Minnesota Viking. He's had some injuries throughout his career, but when he's healthy, he's a beast. And I just think that he still has something left in the tank. And he can maybe go to a team and he can contribute and maybe when even get a championship out the deal. Let's see. LOL, the clock. Remember, it was a time before time when time didn't exist. That's good to know. Can't wait for Jameis to light up the preseason against NFL backups. Oh man. Let's see. Been too long since I tuned in. KT, yeah, it's been a minute, man. Been a minute. Fake Base says, TJ, do you think we need any more wide receiver help, or are we solid with what we got? Once again, you can never have too much help. It all look. I'm not a coach. I'm not in a facility, so I don't know exactly what guys are doing, what they're looking for. I think they got good depth right now. I think they got some guys that can make up for what other guys can do if that particular starter goes down. But I still have questions about the slot, right? Rashid Shaheed could be that guy. Maybe he can emerge, but I still think that you need a solid slot receiver, and I feel like that's something that's been missing from the Saints for a minute. Let's see. I doubt we see much of Winston in the preseason. I expect to see rookie taking more of the rep. Yeah, might see Hayner out there, but I mean, I think you'll see Jameis too. And to be honest with you, you know, you might want to put Jameis out there because, like, this may sound crazy, and it might make some people upset, but it can be one of those Bridgewater situations, like when Teddy Bridgewater was playing for the Jets, and the Saints checked them out, and they made a trade with the Jets to bring Teddy Bridgewater to New Orleans. So it could be like one of those situations. Teams lose their quarterbacks all the time, and if Jameis is out there balling, doing his thing, a team might make a phone call to the Saints to try to make a trade for him. I don't want that to happen, but I mean, look, we have to understand it's a business also. Let's see. What are your thoughts about the NFC South Division rivals? Who's going to be number one of the NFC South in 2023? TJ, I say New Orleans Saints, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Atlanta Falcons, and Carolina Black Pussycats are going to the basement to hit the brick wall. Well, look, I definitely disagree with that list right there. I feel like the Carolina Panthers right now are the best team in the NFC South. The Saints, to me, would be second. It's a toss-up between Atlanta and Tampa. Like, it's a toss-up. And I will put Atlanta ahead of Tampa right now. So, yeah, that's the way I put it. I just think that Frank Reich is the best coach in the division. I think that the Carolina Panthers, despite what they were going through last season, they still were 7-10, and they beat the Saints twice. And they had the best record in the division last year with mediocre to bottom of the barrel quarterback play. So you got to give him the knock for that. So you got to give him the notch for that, to me. I'm sorry, but I think Carolina is number one. The Saints is number two. I mean, it's kind of hard to, to kick against that because, like I said, the Saints got swept by them. So, saw your premiere, Miss Barbara. Awesome job. Okay, Miss Barbara, you got a premiere. Premiere what? I think after training, it ain't gonna be no more Sean Payton baggage, which means Traquan is gone and all the other trash guys too. Well, I mean, unless Traquan okay with doing some dirty work, which, I think that the Saints might keep him around. TJ, I never saw a coach bring in another coach for his quarterback. Must be nice. I mean, I'm going to read a few more, then we're going to go ahead and get up out of here. Says, I'm in no rush to trade Winston. It'll be the Saints' luck as soon as we trade him. Card goes down and we're looking stupid. Good point. I mean, it was one of those things where you're damn if you do, damn if you don't, right? I think after training camp is going to already read that one. Let's see. Says TJ, Miss Barber was doing a recorded prediction for the Saints season. Okay. All right. That sounds good. All right, Miss Barber, I'm going to check that out. See what you have to say with that. Yeah, definitely going to be doing a prediction show late on in the season, man. I mean, late on in the off season. Some of you probably checked out some of the predictions, which I'm not very content with doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, because I haven't really looked at everything. But, I'm gonna be doing that very, very soon. Very, very soon. Y'all know I normally do that like around probably like second or third week of preseason. Let's see, Prime Jameis or Prime Aaron Brooks. Prime Jameis to me. I mean, Aaron Brooks had moments, flashes. Like he might give you 3 touchdowns. I mean, he was such a mixed bag. You ain't know, like they say, life is like a box of chocolates. Life is like Aaron Brooks. You ain't never know what you was gonna get. You don't know if you were gonna get 3 touchdowns, 3 picks. You know if you was gonna get 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. You don't know if you was gonna get 400 yards or 400 air balls. Like you just didn't know what you was gonna get. But I mean, you got to give him credit. He was the first New Orleans Saints quarterback to win a playoff game. I was actually in attendance for that game. I can remember it like it was yesterday, but I have to go with Jameis Winston. I'm a Jameis Winston fan. So, you're not going to really, I mean, I got to keep it 100 on some things. And I know sometimes I get flack, from Jameis Winston supporters. But, man, all in all, man, I got so much respect for the guy. I mean, it's hard not to like the guy. I mean, he's a good person. He's surrounded by good people. And, I got mad respect for him, his dad, his management team, Just Win. I got respect for all those guys. So I'm always rooting for him, no matter what. No matter if he's starting or he's on the sidelines, Jameis is always going to get some love from me. And then on top of that, I mean, he's from Alabama, he's from Bessemer. Probably like 20, 30 minutes from where my wife grew up in Tuskegee. So I'm always gonna have love for them Alabama ties right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it is what it is. But thank y'all so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast. Thank y'all for staying up with your boy. Really do appreciate it. We're gonna have more shows like this. Hope everybody enjoyed the little new layout that we have here. The screen in the background. Probably going, like I said, going to look a little bit different, as the season go on. But we're going to continue to do shows like this. Definitely going to be opening up the phone lines, going forward, and see what you all have to say, and probably to chop it up with you, hear what you all have to say. We're going to be doing it like we've been doing it, going back to that format. So it's going to be fun, a fun show, exciting show. I ask that you hit the like button on your way out. I ask that you subscribe if you have not subscribed already. Shouts out to everybody that donated to the show. I really do appreciate that as well. Definitely very, very helpful, for those that donate to the show. And also all those that donate to the show, not just monetarily, but also just with your comments and your questions as well. Really do appreciate that. You got previous episodes available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Anchor FM. Also, check out the Gumbo Pie Sports Podcast website, gumbopiesports.com. Write articles over there. Got a good, interesting article that I wrote about Michael Thomas that's out right now. Probably going to be doing some more writing about the release of Dalvin Cook. That should be coming out pretty soon, as well as some other Saints news and news around the NFL. gumbopiesports.com. Once again, thank you all so much. Have a good morning, noon, night, whenever you're checking out this podcast. Like always, all I got to say is, who dat?
Hey, don't let these tears fool you. There's all dog around this mug. I'm good.